Welcome to another Baby Together. Today, places. Oh, okay. I like that. Okay. There you go. Yes. Today, we're going to be talking about Svetgedda. You see, Svetgedda was once a pretty prosperous little area, little nation. They actually built a lot of towers and a lot of, one would say, energy-based mechanical items. And they used a lot of the different moons to triangulate a lot of what they were doing. So the moons kind of powered their devices. Now, before Svetgedda kind of became what it was, that's kind of where what happened. It was actually a place called Jakis, like Upper Jakis, but still Jakis. And so the upper portion was mostly engineering to style and things like that. The lower portion was more had a lot of different things. There was a lush lake there, very cute, large lake. There was a temple of Omni there. Well, it's kind of Omni / Tesh. They kind of shared the occupation there before it was abandoned. There was a scholars of mages called the Ancients, and they really did great. They worked really well with magic and did some really cool stuff. They had 100 floors, 100 different classes of magic that you could attend. Now, Ancients, they had like an affinity for magic. They were just born with it. But some say that it can be learned. But nowadays, I'd say it'd be pretty difficult to learn. Just because the Ancients are all but extinct at this point. And it's just difficult to find really lore and things like that. Rope kind of has a stranglehold on the market. Rope is a traveling caravan. They sell magical items. The way they do that is they actually throw these grenades that they're magical grenades, and once somebody's destroyed with these, then their body parts turn into magical items, and they're used to create trinkets and things like that. So it's very brutal stuff. But rope doesn't trade in currency; they trade in names. And if you have somebody's name, magics are more powerful. So that's kind of what they do. But yeah, back to it though. After a while, what ended up happening is there was something called Latova that opened up, and this Latova was this large portal, and it traveled, or its origin was the beginning of time. And a lot of people say, well, there's nothing there, right? Well, there's nothing there, and nothing is whatever is in the dark abyss, the dark snaps. That's what it's called, the dark snaps. And what's in there is a torrent of whatever creatures, primordial, ooze-ish creatures and dangerous beings, right? So someone came from another realm, traveling, and they opened this Latova, the pathway to the beginning of time. And what their plan was is they wanted to do some time traveling. is what the gist of it is. However, that's not how you time travel. And he figured that out the hard way. And then he went on again on his travels, right? Well, he left the Latova there, pulsing out all types of creatures. And the ancients were overwhelmed, and they were desperate. And what they wanted to do was they wanted to bring in a planet of some kind, or like a moon, to see if they could wipe out these creatures. And on the flip side, in Upper Jaquise, you had all these people, with the mechanical weapons and everything like that, and they thought that they could hold it. They really did. And some believe they could have if they really were left to their own devices, but the ancients really had their plan, and so they ended up summoning a moon from another reality, another realm, and it turned out to be a blood moon. And there's really not many out there, but this moon itself was bleeding all kinds of oozes and blood and guts out of itself. And what ended up happening is it completely corrupted and burnt up Jaquise, the Upper Jaquise area. And that became Svetgedda, which is just this place now that's just covered in ash. And the people of Svetgedda that did survive are extremely bitter because they utilize their weapons powered by the moon. So when the blood moon came in, they cut off every connection they had with the 5 moons of Jaquise, and so none of their weapons, none of their technology could be utilized anymore. So it completely crippled them, and they succumbed to the blood moon's power. So it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, so that's Svetgedda, and really right now where it's at is everything's covered in ash. Ancients are all but gone, and yeah, so it's really hard to travel there because they're just very protective of their home. Yeah, so that is Svetgedda in a nutshell. Pretty cool.